All right, Ed. Hello.
Hello.
So today we are talking about what are speaker buyers really looking for and what makes them confident enough to say yes to you, the speaker. So, you want to get us cracking? You've been doing this for over 40
Sir,
years. You know what
you know,
buyers are looking for, and you've got a great experience in the association market.
Aiden, when we started the ASSC, we were trying to figure out ways to help speakers to sell to trade associations and professional societies because we believed that those societies and associations were the gateway to an industry. And that speakers could, and helping speakers understand that speaking in an association meeting wasn't the finish line, but it was the starting point. And it was the starting point to build authority in an industry. Well, we each put some energy into our specialties to try to create value for the group. And one of the things that I ended up doing was interviewing quite a number of speaker hiring decision makers. And I think our ASSC vault, I think we're at somewhere around 80 interviews. And the interesting thing is, excuse me, you keep hearing the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, and the same thing. When all the monkeys in the jungle say it is, it must be. And and so this there's a few different kinds of speakers that they're hiring. Okay, so in our book, Booked, we talked about the
The
different
Insider's
types
Guide to
of.
Speaker Selling to Associations. Might as well
There you
finish
go.
the title right
Yeah,
there.
might as well finish the subtitle. We talked about, there's the big name celebrity speakers and why they get hired and what they get paid. And then there's the authors and why they get hired, what they get paid. And then there's the experiencers, climbed Mount Everest or got shot and thrown out of a TWA plane or whatever. And and then there's the comedian humorists and why they get hired, what they get paid. And then there's the content, the subject matter experts slash hopefully leading into authority and thought leaders. And what I've seen more and more is less and less association decision makers are looking for those big names because they know those big names are very expensive. And the big names, their only job is to get butts in the seats to get people to register for conferences. And whether they deliver or not on a program, they don't care. And some of the big authors are still getting hired, but I'm seeing more and more they're going away from even the humorists, maybe an after dinner speech. But when we look at association and society meetings, the 9 to 4 content at the meeting, whether it be general session, plenary, whether it be the keynote slot, whether it be the breakouts, the association people are looking for speakers that understand first their industry, understand second the problems their members are dealing with, and then can translate what their expertise is in a way that can really help their members move from point A where they are to point B where they need to get to. And more, um, the decision makers are less concerned about the sizzle reel. And I know in the speaking world, there's been a lot of discussion lately about the value of the sizzle reel. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with it. What the heck, have it on your website. But most of the association people said, I want to see a real presentation. I want 40 minutes and I want to be able to just jump through it
The
and
full
see.
40 minutes. They
Yeah,
don't want to. They don't want
no,
like a five
they
minute.
want,
They want the whole.
no, more and more of them. What they're doing, Aiden, is they're using the sizzle reels to decide, okay, I may look at this person further. But then once, let's say they narrow it down to, first pass 5, 6 speakers, whatever. Now they're going to go spend a little bit more time wanting to see actual real content. What is the speaker doing? Any speaker can find 5 minutes in an hour speech that everybody goes, oh my God, that's wonderful. Any speaker can do that. But the speaker that can hold the audience for that hour, the speaker that can deliver valuable content for that hour, the meeting planners are wanting to see this. And also the other thing that's going on that I think a lot of the baby boomer generation speakers haven't figured out and haven't adopted is there's more and more millennials that are now in the position of decision making for speakers, and there's X gens pushing their way up into either being decision makers or part of the decision making. And the X gens and the millennials, they don't want to sit there for an hour and be lectured to.
Hmm.
They want something that's interactive. So, I mean, I'm a baby boomer. I mean, and I grew up, sitting in conference rooms and as a speaker, you know, being a little bit interactive, but not tons. But what they want is they want to be immersed in the program. They don't want somebody to just get up there and talk for an hour. So as we're looking at, okay, the mindset of the meeting planner or the decision maker, let's understand if that person that hires the speakers, if they do a great job, they might get one or two thank yous. If that person screws up and hires one bad speaker, their job might be on the line.
Ah.
So, I mean, and so part of their mindset is safety. Okay. So the people that are the decision makers in the association societies, they'd rather hire somebody that's pretty good, that's safe, as opposed to hiring somebody that's magnificent, that's a huge risk.
Now, when you
You
say
know,
huge risk, are you saying like what is a
not tested, not
not
tested.
tested, not tested? Okay.
Nobody's seen the person speak. The person only has a sizzle reel, and or maybe that person might have a little bit of reputation in the industry of being a little bit unpredictable on
Hmm.
what they're going to do or say. And so, because I think we have to back up association people. Why do people go to work for a trade association or professional society as opposed to private enterprise? Because it's safer. It's not as safe as working at the post office, so they don't have a total bureaucrat mindset, but they have a partial bureaucrat mindset. And speakers need to understand that these people that hire us, number one, safety.
Hmm.
You have to demonstrate that you are a safe choice. And that's why so many meeting decision makers rely on other associations related or tangential to their industry. Oh yeah, we had Aiden Crawford at our meeting. He was fabulous. Okay, now the decision maker can say, oh, ABC Group had Aiden. They said he was great. So if something happened that Aiden bombed at their meeting, it wouldn't be the meeting planner's fault because they were recommended. But if they didn't have that recommendation and an Aiden bomb, it could be their job. So that's why we as speakers need to understand, okay, who are we dealing with? It's different than a corporate environment. We're dealing with people, number one, safety is their concern. Number two, they understand that it's their members that have to be served. And if their members are served well, then their members are going to come give kudos to the paid staff, and then the paid staff is going to keep their job. And 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 we have to be able to articulate our value, our subject matter expertise in a way that shows that if we're not yet a thought leader, we're getting pretty close to being a thought leader. And we see things differently. We ask questions differently. We see holes in the industry differently. And we're bringing something to the table when we're on the platform that's different than their vendors that might be speaking at the conference, their members that might be speaking at the conference. And we as speakers have to be able to explain and teach and get them to understand that it's not just my content. It's my window on your industry, the authority I have on your industry because I've been working in your industry for a long time. I see things that your vendors don't, that your members don't, and that's why you need an outside perspective. So anyway,
In a
that's kind of
nutshell.
the nutshell.
Okay, that's a nutshell. Let's end it now. Okay. Now you say Now, I know from our previous discussion, you're saying pick three industries and kind of become the authority
Yeah,
in
yeah,
basically
sure.
three max, or else you're gig chasing. And maybe if we can talk about gig chasing, which is a totally viable business model.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
very hard. It's exhausting. So,
yeah.
so
Mhm.
building authority in three different things. So let's say you're building authority. What kind of authority? How would I go about building authority in say manufacturing, so
Well,
that that the
let me
buyer
take,
sees me as somebody who's viable for their
sure.
clients.
Let's take this on kind of a little bit of a macro. Let's say I want to build authority in the supply chain. I want to build authority in manufacturing, in distribution, and in retail. Okay, that's the supply chain for most, consumer
Sure.
products at least. And so, how do I do that? Okay, well, I can start at the top or start at the bottom, or attack all three at once. It doesn't matter. But what we want to do is, let's just say, and I'll use manufacturing because you brought that up. So, okay, if I want to start building authority in manufacturing, I'm going to go to the National Association of Manufacturers. It's called NAM. I'm going to go to their website and I'm going to look and start understanding who the National Association manufacturers are. And I'm going to quickly learn that their members are all of the manufacturing associations throughout
Mm,
the United States. So, what I'm going to try to do is, number one, I'm going to try to get articles in their publications for these associations. Number two, I'm going to look, which I already know they have an association executive council, which we talked about before. I'm going to try to find, do they have an association executive council? And I'm going to try to get on that program. Now, those two activities, whether you get paid or not, it doesn't matter, because that is where you're going to start doing your selling. So visualize you're speaking at the NAMS. I can't remember whether they do it annually or semi-annually, at their association executive council meeting. And what do you have? 100 executive directors of manufacturing associations in the room.
yeah.
You do a good program for them, and the way you do the program is, here's something that you, Mr. or Miss Executive Director, need to understand about this content, and here's how your members need to use it. And then you reach out to all of those people and you start getting your content published. And now what happens? And then you take some of the smaller manufacturing association keynotes. Maybe they only have 200 people. Like, I remember one keynote I did, National Association of Brush Manufacturers. Okay, they anything from a hairbrush to an
I was about
industrial,
to say
yeah, from
not exactly the
yeah, but from a hairbrush to an industrial street cleaning brush. I mean, from soup to nuts in brush. And okay, I spoke to them, a couple hundred people. Okay, and they paid my fee. But then you can leverage that to the next. And I think what happens is, and people, they're in the speaker world, there's just so much gig chasing, because so many, and I'm getting ready to slam a lot of your and my colleagues out there that are speaker coaches, speaker helpers, and all
here
that.
it comes, here it comes.
And I just know of nobody that is out there helping speakers, that teaches building authority in a small amount of industries. All of these speaker coaches out there that you and I know of, and I'm not going to mention any names, they teach people to chase gigs. Okay, that's all they do. They teach people to chase gigs. So in helping people to build authority, we start with an industry and we go deep. Now, you might ask, somebody's probably sitting watching this, asking, well, how long is that going to take? Well, to go deep, just let's say in manufacturing, I don't think you can do it in 9 months. As far as, 8 or 10 prospecting calls a day, finding all the associations. Remember, we've got national associations, and the bigger ones have state associations that are allied, or chapters or sections. They have a host of different names, but effectively, chapters. Um, and then I think the National Association of Manufacturers, I think, have got over 200 uh, uh, manufacturing association members. So, I mean, just think, okay, just with that little world right there, it's going to take 6 to 9 months just to get through to all of that. And it compounds. I think what not enough speakers understand is the concept of compounding. Every time I get an article published in XYZ manufacturing magazine, and they usually share their magazines or newsletters with everybody else, they keep seeing my name, they keep seeing my name, and it's compounding, and it compounds, and it compounds. And within a year, all of a sudden, you've moved beyond just subject matter expert to an authority. Now you might not be a thought leader yet, but you're an authority, and that's how they see you. They don't see you as a gig chasing speaker that speaks in a year to 300 different industries or 200 different industries or
On
whatever the
leadership.
number is. I'm sorry?
On leadership.
Yeah. Oh
Now,
yeah.
strategically, let's stick with the manufacturing.
Okay. Okay.
Would I, as if let's say I'm just going in there right now, I'm trying to build my authority. It
Okay.
wouldn't make I could see a lot of heartbreak if I'm going for the big national. Where should I be starting? Where should I start building that authority?
Do all of the above.
Like go for the
See,
big ones and
yeah, yeah. See, the thing is, here's the thing. If if you're a little bit unsure of yourself, and a little bit uncomfortable, then you can. I'm sure your AI Stage Finder can find. I don't remember. Does the AI Stage Finder have something in it for the association size?
no, but guess what I'm gonna add after our call?
Okay. So here's something. If the AI Stage Finder had the association's annual revenue, then that would give us an idea of size. And so maybe if you're a little unsure of yourself, go after a few of the smaller associations, or go after a few of the state associations. Like in every state, I'm in California. There's California Manufacturers Association, and every state has a manufacturing association, and maybe that's a place to start because number one, you get a bunch of manufacturers, but hey, if you speak to Illinois Manufacturing Association and you screw it up, you still got 49 others. And
Well,
and
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 that was my question. So let's say I get the national one and I screw that up. Let's say I get the national one first and I screw it up. Doesn't that dirty the pool for all the rest of them?
it,
Wouldn't I
it
be
could hurt
better
you, but
to?
here's my thing. I think most speakers, if they get the national, they're smart enough to know I need to put a little time into this. And if something happens, and the thing is, here's the thing: if you're a little bit newish and you get on a national program, you're going to get a breakout. You're not going to get a keynote.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, 50 people, 100, 200 people, or maybe you're going to be in your audience. I mean, if you make a little mistake, or it's not the end of the world. It just really, really isn't.
I've done it.
And no, we've all done it. And we've all done it. We've all had our fudge ups. So it's just, it's, but the thing that I would want to tell people is don't be hamstrung. Go after it all. So if you're in Texas, just throwing that out, maybe your first call should be or first thing should be look at the website for the Texas Manufacturing Association or the Association of Texas Manufacturers, whatever it is. Maybe you should get to know what's going on in your own state. Maybe you can participate in something. Maybe you can give some articles. Maybe you can even do a complimentary webinar. I mean, just to kind of noodle your way in a little bit. And then it's from there, especially like if the decision maker, which probably will be the executive director or the director of meetings, um, they're gonna if you noodle your way in and you do a pretty decent job, they're gonna help you introduce you to the next person, the next person, the next person. But you can only do that when you keep the number of industries you're working in tight. Because if you're trying to speak to in a year 100 industries, there's not enough time to work each industry because you've heard me say it a million times, relationship bank deposits before relationship bank withdrawals. And relationship bank deposits take time. And if you make these relationship bank deposits, they'll allow you to make a withdrawal, but it takes a little time.
Maybe
So
you can
that's
go
why.
through for people that aren't familiar, like you and I have
Oh,
talked about relationship bank deposits plenty of times, but for anybody who might be watching this now, maybe you
sure.
can just give us an overview of that.
So in my book, Developing Strategic Alliances, which was published in, I think, 1999, I brought out the idea of relationship bank deposits. So in other words, you know, it's too frequent that we go to networking, whatever, you meet somebody and instantly they're asking you for a favor and they've done nothing for you. And you go, your hair bristles, you go, wait a minute, buy me a cup of coffee before you try to take me to bed, and it's like, and I think that association people have been so desensitized to where speakers call, speakers call, speakers call, speakers call, speakers want, speakers want, speakers want. But it's so rare that a speaker calls and says, hey, I've got a series of articles on whatever your topic is that I think would be really helpful to your members. I'd like to make those available to you. Do you have a minute? Let me show you on my website where they are. And by the way, I have permission to reprint. So you can anytime grab these. I don't know if you ever have the situation where a member promises an article and they don't deliver. And right then, both I and the editor have a nice laugh and they go, yeah, that hasn't happened since yesterday. And so these articles are evergreen. They're here to help you. And so that's a relationship bank deposit. Now, you can make a withdrawal quasi immediately if it's a soft withdrawal after you've talked to them and got them to kind of like you a little bit, and you can say to them, oh, hey, by the way, before I hang up, would you do me one quick favor? Would you just tell me who the decision maker is in your organization for speaker hiring? And they might say, well, the meeting planner is Sally. I go, oh, is Sally the logistics person or the decision maker? Actually, the decision maker is Lois. Oh, Lois is the decision maker. Would you mind just uh, transfer me over to Lois? I just want to say hi and introduce myself before I leave the call.
Just like that. Now,
Yeah.
at this point, you're talking to the editor. Now, I want to go
Yeah.
right back to soup and nuts here.
Sure.
Where do you find the contact information for the editor? Because I think we talk about this a lot, and then people go, "But where do I find this information?
Sure. Most association websites are going to have an about section. Generally, not always, but I'd say from my experience, well, look at of the last 100 or so associations I posted our ASSC and in our association meetings by the month, and I went and checked all of them one at a time on the website. I'd say over 80% of the time I could go into the association's website, hit about, and find staff and you click staff, and generally you're looking for director of conferences, director of meetings,
education.
meeting planner, one of those three. And I'm sorry,
No, we're
I'm
looking for
talking
the
about
editor.
meetings.
We're looking for the
No, yeah,
editor right
sorry,
now.
I just spaced
Okay.
out. No, director of hold on.
Publications
It
or
could be Marcon, marketing communications, director of communications, director of publishing. It could be editor, any of those titles. And then 9 out of 10 times, it'll either have one or the other, their phone number or their email. And whichever way you can reach out, I'd try both if you can. But the other thing too, to show an editor that you're savvy about their life, if you do get an editor on the call, go, before I go any further, I just want to ask you, are you under deadline? And they go, yes, as a matter of fact, I am. I go, um, can I call you tomorrow? Yes, that'd be better. Or they go, no, I'm not under deadline. Go ahead. By using their lingo, their language that we understand that they have, and if they're under deadline, they got to get this publication out today. They don't have time to talk to you and me.
absolutely.
Okay. But tomorrow they do. And so I want to, whether, and you can do the same thing on LinkedIn. I mean, on LinkedIn, you can search the same way. Go in, search association. You can put the industry, and you can put editor or communications, and see what you get. But I will tell you that the most up to date information is generally the website, and And generally, I would, if you call and you can't get through, I'd leave a message. Say, the reason I'm calling is because I've written enough books, it's easy for me. I go, I'm the author of XYZ book, and I have a number of articles adapted from my book that I think would really help your members to achieve A, B, and C. I'm going to send you an email. I hope you can take a moment to look at it. Okay. So that way I'm attacking it from both sides and I've got a better chance. No guarantee that they're
No,
going to
no.
look at, no guarantee they're going to get back to me.
Now there's another way that is pretty obvious to me. Maybe it's just because I was an editor at one point. You could, if you download the PDF of their magazine, the masthead will generally have the contact information for the editor within the magazine.
Sometimes the challenge today is a lot of associations and societies have newsletters and they're and,
Different
and
than a
they're not
magazine.
they're not PDF
Uh,
downloadable.
yeah,
Um,
I was thinking
but you're right.
the industry
You're
magazine. That's what I'm
you're
thinking.
right. And yeah, and there's a lot today. I mean, there's a lot less of those industry. I mean, 20 years ago, Aiden, I got about 60 industry magazines a month delivered to my house from various industries that I cared about, which was obviously too much, but a lot in construction, a lot in manufacturing. Um, and I think the thing is there is no one perfect way to skin this cat. There's a lot of ways. And the other thing that I would tell everybody that might be watching this, in sales, the most important four-letter word is next. And why I say that is sometimes you might get a hold of an editor that's a total jerk and say, you're not good enough for us. Oh, fine. Thank you for your time. Next. Or there might be an association that you just really wanted to, but you beat your head against the brick wall and you can't. Okay, come back to them next year. Next, go to the next one. Go after the soft underbelly. Go after the ones that are in the industry that you want to pursue, but find the ones that are the easiest to. I mean, if somebody is going to spend 2 hours on this mission, I'm going to find this person's email address. And they could have spent that 2 hours finding 50 email addresses from other associations. Wouldn't it be smarter? Next, move on, go to the other associations. Put that down as a someday when I have time.
Very good. And I think that is a great place to end it. Ed, it's been another good week. I think anybody who's been watching this, we should probably give a pitch for the ASSC, right?
Oh, we should. Why don't you
Did
do
you
that?
do you want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah, you do it.
So Ed and I run the ASSC. We're the Association and Society Speakers Community. We service speakers that are actually kind of mid-career speakers. So we're not for the new guys. We're for the people that actually have a business, and our focus is on helping you grow that business. So if you're a new speaker, we're probably not for you. We're really focused on people that have a bit of a business set up and are really just looking to grow it. You can find out more if you go to speakercommunity.org. We're a monthly subscription. You can join us. You stay as long as you want. You leave whenever you want. We're not here to take your money if you're not finding any value on it. We have meetings every week, lots of content, lots of AIs to help you push your business forward. I think anything else that I missed there, or are we good?
Well, and in addition to, you know, we have such a rich uh, store of workshops that all of the different aspects that we talk about here and there's almost assuredly there's a 20 to 60-minute workshop very intensive on just that topic. And the other thing too that you forgot to mention, because we have a members only Facebook group, I'm always, finding interesting leads, and I always dump it in the members only Facebook group. Now, last week, what was it? Last week, I found something. The National Truckers Association. It was the executive council for all the state executive directors, the new people that came in, and I just emailed it out to all of our members. Said, "Hey, if this is an interest you're interested in, you want to go after this association executive council.
I
I
totally
mean, it's
missed that
kind of
email.
spoon feeding.
Oh man, I because you spoon fed me one a couple of years ago for the it was the American Busing Association.
Yeah, that's a great one.
So which people are going, yeah, American, but but that because I've done American Bus Association probably would have given me a nice in for the truckers because it'd be the same kind of vertical where it's in transportation and getting things
Well,
around.
and
But
and the American Buses Association really helpful in
they're
hospitality.
they're very good,
Hospitality.
very good.
Yeah.
Anybody look up the ABA? They're great,
So,
which is also an
I
American
think
Bus
that
Association.
I know we're a minute over on time, but I would just say to anybody, when you say mid-career, the people that are like CSP, working on their CSP, could be a CSP if they cared to do the paperwork. A lot of people don't care to do the paperwork, so they don't care. But I mean, that 5 to 10 year speaker, I think, and we've got people in the ASSC that are 20 and 30 year speakers. And then we've got a bunch of things that are kind of hidden under the hood that we don't talk about that for people at certain levels can access. But it's just our people, and even on the call we had early this morning, one woman, she was talking about how much business she's gotten through her membership. We'll just leave it as Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. And then Kelly, another member, said the same thing. And so, you know, I'm very appreciative to the people that are actually saying, "Hey, yeah, I am getting business," and it's like, great. That means that all of your efforts, my efforts, everything that we do collectively, you know, uh, you're digital, I'm analog, and it's creating value for the people, and more important than just feel good. I mean, they're getting dates, they're getting paid, they're putting money in the bank, and that's what it's all about.
We should also mention that we're not very kind. So if we're so focused on getting you revenue that if you come up with an idea, we will shoot it down. And that's and say, where's the money on that? All right, Ed, I am going to end it there because I don't want to go down, don't want to scare anybody away. We've been
There you
we've
go.
been we've been we've been nice so far, so we'll just leave it at that. So guys, visit the speakercommunity.org. Check us out. We'll be back next week and same time, same bat channel, and we're going to do. We haven't got the subject thing, but
Well,
the
you and I'll figure it out.
the speak this summer
We'll have
speaker series
another
will continue. All right,
we'll have
Ed.
another
Thanks very
great time.
much. Let me
Okay.
just end
Bye bye.
our broadcast, and there we go.